On Monday, June 2, search and rescue teams resumed their efforts to locate a 64-year-old man who remains missing following a massive landslide that struck the quiet alpine village of Bladen in southern Switzerland last week. The disaster unfolded on Wednesday, May 28, when a significant portion of the Birch Glacier collapsed, unleashing an overwhelming avalanche of glacial debris, comprising ice, rock, mud, and boulders, that barreled down the mountainside and engulfed much of the village. The disaster unfolds. Authorities estimate that millions of cubic meters of debris thundered into the valley with devastating force, obliterating homes, infrastructure, and natural landscapes in a matter of seconds. The landslide's rapid onset left little opportunity for escape or preparation, even as local officials had been monitoring signs of glacier instability for weeks. Although the village's roughly 300 residents were evacuated ahead of the collapse after warnings of potential glacier movement, the missing man was reported to have either remained behind or returned to the area shortly before the landslide. This tragic uncertainty has propelled ongoing rescue efforts amid extremely challenging and dangerous conditions. Adding to the disaster's complexity, the debris dammed natural waterways, creating a makeshift lake that submerged surviving structures and complicated rescue and recovery operations. Floodwaters from this new lake posed an additional hazard, threatening to destabilize remaining buildings and cause secondary flooding downstream. Rescue challenges and suspension. Immediately following the landslide, specialized teams deployed search dogs trained to detect human scent, while aerial drones equipped with thermal imaging cameras scanned the debris field in hopes of locating survivors or remains. However, by Thursday afternoon, search efforts were halted due to the precarious nature of the terrain. Large unstable mounds of mud, loose rock, and ice debris risked further collapse, endangering rescue personnel and equipment. Authorities also warned of continuing rockfalls and shifting glacier ice, especially with rising temperatures accelerating melt. Renewed search and secured zones. On Monday, police and geological experts announced a breakthrough. After detailed terrain assessments and risk analysis, they delineated a safer, demarcated area within the landslide zone where search teams could cautiously resume operations. The decision followed careful coordination with structural engineers and environmental specialists who evaluated ground stability and ongoing risks. Rescue workers have since returned, focusing their efforts on the secured zone where the missing man was last seen. Human impact and evacuation. The village of Bladen, known for its traditional alpine architecture and close-knit community, now lies largely in ruins. The evacuation spared many lives, but the scale of destruction has left families displaced, many grappling with the loss of homes, possessions, and a way of life deeply connected to the surrounding mountains. Local authorities have provided temporary shelters and are coordinating with aid organizations to meet the immediate needs of evacuees, including food, medical care, and psychological support. The situation remains fluid as experts assess the stability of the surrounding glacier and terrain to prevent further disasters. Public support and fundraising. In the wake of the tragedy, Switzerland has witnessed an outpouring of generosity and solidarity. The humanitarian group Chain of Happiness, Chain du Bonheur, which manages disaster relief efforts nationally, announced it had raised over 6 million Swiss francs, approximately 6.42 million euros, in donations within 5 days. These funds will be allocated to help displaced residents with emergency housing, reconstruction costs, and long-term relocation plans. Murin Bengoa, director of the organization, emphasized the importance of this support. The people of Bladen have lost so much in this catastrophe. These contributions will help provide them with safety and hope as they begin the difficult process of rebuilding their lives. Climate change and geological concerns. This disaster has once again drawn attention to the broader environmental challenges facing Switzerland and the Alpine region. Scientists warn that rising global temperatures are accelerating glacier melt and destabilizing long-standing ice formations. Such conditions increase the risk of glacier collapses, landslides, and floods with greater frequency and unpredictability. Research into the Birch Glacier's recent activity revealed significant melting and shifting ice masses, which likely contributed to the glacier's partial collapse and the resulting debris flow. Experts caution that similar events could occur in other vulnerable mountain regions unless comprehensive monitoring and mitigation measures are implemented. The disaster occurred on Wednesday, May 28, when a massive flow of glacial debris, consisting of ice, mud, and rock, cascaded down the mountainside, engulfing the village and causing widespread destruction. The enormous volume of debris, estimated to be millions of cubic meters, overwhelmed much of Bladen, burying homes and infrastructure. While a few buildings escaped complete destruction, they later suffered flooding caused by a newly formed lake behind the debris, created as the landslide obstructed the natural flow of water. In the immediate aftermath, rescue teams deployed specially trained dogs and used thermal drones to search for the missing man amid the unstable and dangerous terrain. However, by Thursday afternoon, search operations were suspended due to the precarious condition of the debris piles, which posed significant risks of further rockfalls. Authorities warned that the area remained highly unstable, preventing rescue workers from continuing safely. Local police announced on Monday that after thorough geological assessments, they identified and secured a specific zone deemed safe enough for search activities to resume. This allowed rescue teams to cautiously restart their efforts in the designated area. Prior to the landslide, the village's 300 residents had already been evacuated as precaution after parts of the mountain near the Birch Glacier showed signs of destabilization and imminent collapse. The director of the Swiss humanitarian organization Chain of Happiness, Murin Bengoa, reported that over 6 million Swiss francs, about 6.42 million euros, had been raised within 5 days of the disaster. These funds are intended to provide assistance to the displaced residents of Bladen, helping them relocate and recover from the catastrophe.